America remains a train wreck under one-party rule. The Democrats are going scorched earth on our nation. I get the sense they know and understand that their socialist policies, the lawlessness, the embarrassment that they've been putting on the world stage for everybody to see, our disastrous economy, will ensure that no Democrat majority will be elected in the near future under free and fair elections. So the Democrats are trying to seize power, making our elections irrelevant. To do that, they have to take control over our institutions, and one of the keys to their anti-American success is the high court. Tainting the Supreme Court. We detail the Democrats' next target in tonight's preamble. Her rather concerning record aside, Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson will forever be known as Joe Biden's racist pick for the Supreme Court. Unlike other nominees to the high court, Democrats proudly admit that Judge Jackson was selected based on her race and gender. A Salcedo Show axiom states that the first step in combating racism is to stop being a racist. The Democrats and other left-wing extremists haven't gotten the memo, nor are they held accountable for their racism by a hopelessly biased and corrupt press. So let's examine Judge Jackson's record, the most troubling aspect of which is Judge Jackson's seemingly soft stance on those who prey on children. In her current capacity on the D.C. Circuit Court, Judge Jackson has exhibited a pattern when it comes to sentencing child sexual predators.
United States versus Hawkins. This was a child pornography case where the defendant distributed multiple images of child porn, possessed dozens more, including videos. The federal sentencing guidelines recommended a sentence of 97 to 121 months in prison. Prosecutors recommended 24 months in prison. Judge Jackson gave the defendant 3 months.
Conservative Senator Josh Hawley there would go on to detail 6 more cases where Judge Jackson sentenced child predators to the bare minimum sentence or below recommended sentences for these sick and twisted criminals who exploit our nation's children. When confronted on her shameful record, Judge Jackson refused to give the American people an explanation.
These are some of the most difficult cases that a judge has to deal with because we're talking about pictures of sex abuse of children. We're talking about graphic descriptions that judges have to read and consider when they decide how to sentence in these cases. And there's a statute that tells judges what they're supposed to do. Congress has decided what it is that a judge has to do in this and any other case when they sentence.
Well, wait a minute. Notice she didn't address why she went soft on these deviants. But what she said there was only partially true. In certain cases, yes, there are minimum sentencing guidelines. Judge Jackson universally used the lowest possible end of those guidelines. In cases where she had latitude, she sentenced well below the suggested sentences for criminals who victimize children. That's her record. It can't be changed. It can't be sugar-coated. That's the truth. The majority of people in this audience would say, hey, I choose the maximum sentence for those who would exploit children. But that's not the values of Judge Jackson or the Democrat Party. They are the party of the criminal, by the criminal, and for the criminal. I'm also forced to ask this question. Why would a man like Joe Biden, who has an earned reputation of inappropriate touching of women and children, nominate a judge to the Supreme Court who likes to go soft on child predators? I think it's a fair question. Another troubling aspect of Judge Jackson's record is that she has admitted that she has a hidden agenda. She's also a proponent of the grotesque lies pushed by the debunked 1619 Project. Judge Jackson is also an advocate of the hate-filled critical race theory ideology. She was confronted with these facts yesterday by Senator Marsha Blackburn.
You once wrote that every judge has, and I quote, personal hidden agendas, end quote, then influence how they decide cases. So I can only wonder, what's your hidden agenda? You have praised the 1619 Project, which argues the U.S. is a fundamentally racist country, and you have made clear that you believe judges must consider critical race theory when deciding how to sentence criminal defendants. Is it your personal hidden agenda to incorporate critical race theory into our legal system?
Fair questions we all need answers to, right? Now, one of the tenets of the Marxist ideology espoused in critical race theory is the notion that all white people out there are oppressors. Now, I think it'd be fair of senators to ask Mrs. Jackson if she considers her white husband an oppressor due to the color of his skin. It would also be fair to ask how she can reconcile her devotion to critical race theory doctrine and marrying a man who, according to that doctrine, is an oppressor. According to the teachings of critical race theory that Judge Jackson claims must be incorporated into her rulings, she is giving aid and comfort to an oppressor. Doesn't that indicate poor judgment, not befitting an appointment to the highest court in the land? The emperor has no clothes. The shroud of socialism has fallen. And now the mad dash is on to pack the U.S. with uneducated, illegal alien Democrat voters, to pack our streets with criminals, and to populate our once respected institutions with left-wing radicals, ensuring the fix will be in to keep the Democrat Party in the game after their radical policies have thoroughly soured Americans on the Democrat brand. We already know that every Democrat will vote for Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson because they share her values, or lack thereof. The people to watch in all of this are the Republicans. How many will vote for Judge Jackson, signaling that they think a woman who is soft on child predators, supports critical race theory, and has a secret agenda is worthy of sitting on the Supreme Court? Time will tell.